Hey guys, BK Rules 9 here. Yes, I am not dead. I know I have not posted in like 3 months, but it is okay. I'm alive and well, even with this terrible 2020. But there is something to look forward to, as I am bringing you guys the first ever edition of this unnamed podcast that I'm probably going to name in the title. Anyways, so for those who do not know, I think I have actually uploaded a battle series for a league called NNDL, and this was back in the majors. I want to say about 2 seasons ago, where I kind of introduced this league and kind of was like, "Hey, I'm participating in it." But after 2 seasons, I just kind of lost recording, and now we're back, and we are back as not only an analyst, well, sort of analyst, but also a coach in the minor leagues. And this season's going to be awesome. So, some things that I do want to mention. As of right now, we're kind of on round 7. One person has drafted round 7. That's a basic thing. But we are also kind of doing I don't know the best way to explain this, but we are bringing back some moves. We are adding the Isle of Armor DLC moves, Flip Turn, Burning Jealousy, all of those that you could think of. The tiers are all just a lot of fun. But of course, I am never alone, or if I am, there's always some type of noise in the background. So joining me today, hopefully, is Snowy.
Hello there.
So, of course, Snowy has been doing a lot for this league, and I just want to say right now that I appreciate everything that you have done for this league so far.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Yes. So, with that being said, um, right now for this kind of pre-episode prologue episode 1 type thing, I wanted to break down the first 6 rounds and kind of give a little take on it. And I do want to mention that with some mons being high tier, the highest tier is 20 points, the lowest being 1. There's a lot of shakes in here, but we will be talking over most of these mons. So with that being said, let's go to the first round pick, which is the number 1 overall, drafted by the Black City Bishops, who have a really good team so far, with Mega Blastoise, Volcarona, Kartana, Kyurem, Gardevoir, and Bolton. Of course, you see the Crobat, but that's round 7. So, yeah. um. Anyways, this is a really good team so far. Oh, sorry, forgot to say one more thing. There is a point system, which means there are points that you have to spend. It's like a shopping spree type of league in terms of draft. But anyways, like I was saying, um, it's a really good team so far with a really good mod who has actually gotten a lot of um things coming into Sword and Shield, which is Mega Blastoise. And of course, the biggest thing being Shell Smash. Of course, Shell Smash is one of those moves that can raise your attack by 2, raise your special attack by 2, as well as raise your speed by 2. However, with lowering defense and special defense by 1. And because of the item being Blastoise Knight, because that is the only way you can Mega Evolve, it is more of a it, I like to I like to say it's a glass cannon, but it is a really good mod. Along with that, it's also got a couple of moves if you don't want to run a special or a shell smash type of team. It's got one of the newest moves of flip turn. And honestly, with with that, it's more of a it could be used as a slow U-turn for water types, which is pretty good.
I
Uh,
do want to add on one really interesting thing, which is although incredibly situational, Blastoise does get Earthquake, and with a +2 attack, even uninvested, that's still going to kill weaker electric types.
that is actually a really good point. Um, and with that being said, I think this mon being a 20-point mon is actually really good. I think that, and we will get into this later, but Mega Blastoise is one of those mons that really, really got buffed in the Isle of Armor DLC.
There's a
Um,
reason it's 20 points now.
yes. Of course, with the rest of its mons, it looks really nice. The team is so far lacking a rock resist, however. The only thing being Kartana, and with 32 points remaining, I don't think that we are going to see this team kind of finish out strong. I think we might see some Mons kind of get the lackluster end of it. Like maybe.
I'm
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I'm also noticing one major issue, which is Volcarona is going to be forced to run heavy duty boots almost every single time because the only defogger so far is
Is
Crobat,
Crobat?
and they have no way to set rocks at all. They only have toxic spikes also off of Crobat.
Yes. Um. Oh, and Blastoise gets Rapid Spin.
Oh, okay, that actually does help quite a bit, but at the same time,
Who
Mega Blastoise doesn't want to spend a slot on Rapid Spin usually.
exactly?
It's still a viable option, though. I can actually expect that extra speed is nice if you're not running a Shell Smash set.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um. But of course, with given the 32 points, um, we could see some lower tier mons get drafted and possibly see a a top heavy team go into a possibly mid standard type of team. So with that being said, next up we have the Drizziles, or nope, sorry, the Drizzles. Um with the Megalodios Blaziken Blaze, which means that it can only have the Blaze ability. You have Alolan Raichu, Sirfetch'd, Corviknight Gmax, and Araquanid, and this gives me a perfect opportunity to discuss the Gmax rule. So, um, as as you should know, unless you are very new, Pokemon can Gigantamax for 3 turns. So let me bring up Corviknight real quick. Here it is. So Corviknight can Gmax for 3 turns, and then it goes back to a regular Corviknight. However, because of the Gmax rule, you must hold a male, and this will allow it to not be knocked off and not be traded or tricked for a better item. And this kind of helps so that way everything is more balanced. And of course, Corviknight, Gmax Corviknight is really good actually. I believe it
Oh,
is set to to an 18 point.
I do want to add one small thing regarding the reasoning behind mail.
Yes, go right ahead.
It's not exclusively just so you can. It's not exclusively just to prevent trick shenanigans or knockoff related stuff. It's also because of Poltergeist. Poltergeist requiring an item to hit will always hit a Gmax Pokemon this season because they cannot lose their mail by any means possible, which means they're always going to have an item on them.
Yes, and
It's a small thing. It's a small thing, but it's very important because the Pokemon that do get it want to be able to hit stuff.
oh yes, absolutely. And some mons really do benefit from Poltergeist, and of course, that that will also probably be talked about either in this episode or in later episodes. So, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure the Corviknight's Gmax move gets rid of terrain.
Not just terrain. It's actually a full defog effect.
Oh, a full default effect. Thank you.
It loses the ability to gain speed by its flying type move, which isn't always great. But at the same time, in draft, just because of how useful defog is, it's not actually a half bad ability. I also want to add on that the fact that they drafted Blaziken and Alolan Raichu and Surfetched rounds 2, 3, and 4, this team is just the ultimate power move.
Oh yes,
It,
absolutely.
it knows what it's doing. It knows what it was doing from the very start, and it is playing it out, and I love it.
Yes, it is. It is a really good team. One thing I am going to say is that it is lacking a an answer to flying types. Of course, I know that the Alolan Raichu is there, and of course Corviknight is also there. But if those two things are not brought, this team could lose to very fast flying types. And of course, um, with the Gigantamaxes as well, something I should mention is that some have been ranked due to just what they are what they're capable of doing, I guess is a better way to say it. Of course, like Gmax Finale on a Gmax Alchemy can do a lot less than a Gmax Blastoise doing with its Cannonade. But with that being said, this team is actually really strong, and with the 61 points remaining, I think that it could keep that standard strength and build it up more. I think this is going to definitely be one of the top teams in the league.
I also want to add on that just webs on Araquanid are going to be really interesting because they do not have great speed tiers right now, and webs definitely fixes that.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think there's a if I'm correct. By the way, guys, draftleague.nl this is not a sponsor. I wish it was, but is a really good website for getting a league together and having it really organized. I think this is the first season that we are actually using it, and so far it is actually really amazing. Of course, with the draft in progress right now, you can see it's got the just in case you're away, basically making a being it being able to pick for you along with having a backup and a second round or yes, a second pick just in case your first gets drafted and then your first backup gets drafted.
It's also worth mentioning that Otto, the owner of the website, is just Automathic is absolutely wonderful to work with. Just been absolutely the most help possible.
A-
From one of the moderators' standpoints, just he's been so on top of it.
Absolutely. And I don't think any of this would be possible without him personally. So, thank you so much to Otto for letting us kind of be in this website, so to say. Um, but with all pleasures aside, next up we have Team Ivory, which Jesus Christ. Of course we
This this team, this team.
this team.
I will be honest, I was helping a bit with them at first because they are brand new to draft. The player is brand new to draft, but they got a hold of the basics so fast and well, you can see the result. I'm scared. I'm really scared.
I
I
think
don't
we
know
all
I
are.
don't know if competitive experience matters here.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
yeah, because I mean, we all know how fearful rain teams are, and this with the allow. Okay, so um, apologies for this, but I guess some of my quality or not quality, just my mic being very stupid and just cut out all the audio. So with that being said, we are looking at Team Ivory, who has one of the probably scariest rain teams in the world. Of course, a lot of Mons got a lot of new things, and one of them was Kingdra. So Kingdra, of course, had Blizzard, it had Ice Beam. This thing actually got Flip Turn and Hurricane. Of course, Kingdra didn't have a big way of dealing with certain mons. Um, Surprisingly, including bug types and things like I'm suddenly blanking on the mon, but it couldn't deal with like things that were actually really that could take an ice beam. However, with the rain boost, or not boost in the rain, but its accuracy um becoming a can't miss in the rain, it really takes a buff into it. Of course, it does get other moves like Hydro Pump, which is really good in the rain. Of course, it also has Scald for a burn chance, just in case you don't want to risk the miss. But it can.
It gets Splash, which is obviously important.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It
Um,
actually, jokes aside though, it also does actually get Clear Smog.
oh yes, and that's something that could be really good, especially having a fast clear smogger is pretty good. I believe the only good clear smoggers were Gastrodon and Amoonguss, and of course those being very slow. Um, but it also, besides Flash Cannon, kind of gives a good way to deal with the fairy types. Um, and
Well,
if
if it wants to deal with fairy types, it's just going to be spamming Flash
Oh
Cannon.
yeah, absolutely. But of course, the only thing that can I mean, with the rain team, um, Pelipper Pelipper really helps with this mon, and it really helps with a couple other mons, of course, Swampert and Urshifu being the big ones. This team actually looks really good on paper, and I'm really shocked that some of the mons got to Team Ivory, especially Clefable. Clef-
Clefable was a mistake. I watched them realize that they wanted it behind the scenes, and I watched them realize that it hadn't been taken, and there was just this awkward silence between both of us as we both realized what it meant.
and of course, so Clefable run 6 is kind of crazy, but on the bright side, I think this is going to be one of the top 3 teams in this league. I think
I'd be
it's
shocked if it wasn't.
Oh, absolutely. I think it will take at least one week to kind of get everything situated, to figure out the best way to use this team, and then it will start sweeping like crazy. So, with that being said, with its 41 points remaining, I do want to see it pick up a few more mons, just so that way, it's not as predictable that they're gonna run what clearly could be a starting 6 just with these 6 mons alone. But a few mons to kind of just balance out the weaknesses would be a great way to end the draft for Team Ivory.
And frankly, some sort of defogger that isn't named Pelipper, so Pelipper doesn't have to come in on hazards every time.
Yes, that is true. Um, Next up we have Cosmic Chaos with Mega Mowile, Excadrill, Rotom Wash, Hydreigon, Lapras, and Virizion. So, of course, um, I suddenly just like lost my breath, like just reading off this team. Lapras Gmax is a really kind of like the base core of this team. With
I used it last season. I can confirm it is an absolute nightmare to play against.
Yes, and I would say especially because of Gmax resonance, which basically allows it to get
It's free Aura Veil.
it's basically free Aura Veil.
No hail needed.
Yes, and with that being said, a lot of things could benefit from it, especially Mega Mobile, especially Excadrill. To be honest, if I'm correct, Max Rockfall is the sand, correct?
Yes.
This thing actually gets a couple of rock type moves. Actually, it gets ancient power. So if it wants to run a little cheeky set to help the Excadrill, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that. I really wouldn't
I
be.
I wouldn't either. I know they've been planning some really weird stuff, but that's definitely a new one to me, and I'm sure they would like to hear this.
I'll have to tell them behind the scenes. um, but of course,
Behind no, this is on the scenes at
this is
this point.
on the scenes. Of course, we have Mega Mawile that benefits from the Aurora Veil. You have a Hydreigon, especially possibly a Scarfed Hydreigon that really benefits from it, and even Virizion can benefit from this.
Ironically, this team actually looks a lot like my previous team from last season. I don't think I had Rotom Wash, but I think I had Rotom Heat for a while.
Hmm.
And I had Hydreigon and Lapras.
Uh,
And the combination of Hydreigon and Lapras alone is ridiculous.
it,
Hydreigon's ability to pivot out into things makes it so it basically makes it so Lapras is going to get in. The only big thing that I want to mention though is because of the male thing. Once the Gmax is ended, Lapras is unfortunately really dead weight. It needs an item, absolutely needs an item to
yeah,
go off
yes,
without Gmax.
and I think that's really why it's more of a low-tiered mon, personally.
Yeah, if it was still allowed to have an item, it would be 20, if
Uh,
not banned.
oh yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of mons would be, or I think most of the Gmaxes would be. I don't think I could
Yeah, actually, there's only a couple that would
Gmax and
survive.
Gmax and
But
Teleon. That thing would
that,
survive easily.
yeah, Gmax Pikachu, we
Yeah.
know that we know the deal.
Although Gmax, no, I don't think Gmax EV would be. Is that thing even banned?
Technically, it's on the banned list right now, but it's not technically banned.
Yeah.
Just nobody's going to draft it, so we never bothered to tier it.
Next up we have the the Sparks Jolteons. Oh, those
Hello.
S's are kind of a little crazy. Um, with Megalopony, Zapdos, Tapu Lele, Delphox, Duraludon, and Whimsicott. Jesus Christ. Um, First off, shout out for drafting my mascot's mom, Delphox. Of course, if you guys do not know, I'm a huge Fennekin fan. Um, but all of that beside us, this is a really, really powerful team with a really good round one pick in Megalopony. Now, I don't know how this thing is banned. I just typed in no because I do not want to talk about this thing, but it is one of the key members of this team, as for some reason Meganium decided to show up. Um, I miss you too, Meganium. But this mon is a lot in general. Scrappy got a buff being able to block Intimidate. This mon is now able to use Return, Frustration, and Pursuit, the three mons that
Well,
are
to be fair, it can't actually use Pursuit. It does not get access to that.
oh,
Thank God.
it doesn't have access to it, but it is something that, since we are bringing up Return and Frustration, we should bring that up. Although,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, if this thing got Pursuit.
Oh, if it got Pursuit, it would actually be banned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
This thing is one step away from being banned at all times. Similar, it's actually in the same position as Mega Blastoise. It's only not banned because of slight technicalities more than anything.
yes.
But that's also part of what makes it so much fun to draft. There are so many Pokemon like that this season that almost everybody got one.
Oh yes, absolutely. And of course, this thing gets U-turn. This thing gets triple axle. Um,
Apparently, it gets play rough now.
yeah, it does. It gets play rough. Of course, the usual power up punch, um, ice punch. But even then, I don't think anyone's gonna run ice punch over triple axle.
100% accuracy is not bad.
It really isn't. But at the same time, with triple axle, kind of, I want to say it's boosting every turn.
Yeah, it's stronger. No, it's not boosting
Or
every turn. It's
yeah,
stronger every hit, every consecutive hit.
that yes. Of course, it gets Drain Punch. Again, it has access to Return or Fake Out. Of or not fake. Yeah, Fake Out, but
Yeah.
Return or Frustration. Um, of course, some people like to run the Fake Out Last Resort set.
Fake out quick attack is also popular when you're dealing with frail stuff.
Ah, yes, that is true.
Dual priority.
Yes. And so really this how is this thing not banned? I don't
Once again, it's more by a technicality than anything. It just can't deal with scarfed psychic types.
yes. And
Even with fake out, it will inevitably have to switch out, and that's part of where the rest of the team comes into
yes,
play.
exactly. With its multiple ways of having psychic excuse me, psychic surge um or psychic terrain just doing a lot for it. Um
To be fair, psychic terrain is as much of a blessing as it is a curse on this team. Whimsicott specifically was drafted, and since I am the team owner, I just want to go into that a little bit.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Whimsicott specifically was drafted, so I have a second fairy. I don't want to always have to bring psychic terrain because it does hurt to not be able to go priority on Lopunny, and it does hurt to not be able to get prankster shenanigans off on Whimsicott.
Yeah.
So I like having my options,
Oh yeah.
even if it does mean double drafting fairies.
Oh yeah. And of course, with it is a really top heavy team. Um it's the rounds 4, 5, and 6. As much as I love Delphox, are a
It was an
little
overcorrection.
are a little low.
It was an overcorrection on my part.
Yeah. Although I do respect the drafting of Delphox. Um
To be fair, it works really well with psychic spam.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that this team is really good. I think it is definitely a mid-pack team. However, the only thing I'm going to say about it is with those 50 points remaining, I could see grabbing top a top tier mon and then having to settle for low tier mons to kind of settle out the weaknesses. Hopefully that is not the case, but as usual, we will see throughout the rest of the draft. Next up we have the Slurpee. Who names this team?
It's jam.
Ah, Jam is a good guy, everyone. Hopefully we will have him on the podcast soon.
Yeah,
Um,
he's actually pretty great, but
yes.
he's the only one here who would be like that.
Yeah. The Slurpee Sluggers. To be honest, if this logo is not a Sliggoo, I would be shocked.
It's a bunch of Pokemon.
Mm,
I don't know if Sligoo's on it, but I
That
know that the main mascot is, I believe, Licky Licky.
that would make a lot of sense. There it is. Licky Licky, Sliggoo, and probably Lickitung would absolutely just God Jesus, Jam. Cinderace, Komodo, Gliscor, Reuniclus, Primarina, and Skarmory. This just seems like a standard team. I mean, of course, we have the added mon Cinderace, which is allowed to run Libero or Libero or however the volleyball term is.
I have to add one other very important thing here.
Go ahead.
Primarina gets flip turn now.
Yes, Primarina does get flip turn, which is
Also, I can't pronounce it.
Reuniclus.
Reuniclus
Bingo.
gets some it gets some pretty cool stuff that balances out the fact that it can also now be pursuit trapped.
Yeah.
It on top of getting I believe it gets expanding force, but I think it also gets just a lot of other really cool stuff at this point.
Pause. What do you mean it can't be pursuit trapped?
No, it can, is what I
Oh,
said.
okay, okay. I thought you said can't. I was like, wait a minute.
No,
Um,
it's not.
of course, with Libero, it does come with a couple of cool moves. Of course, Court Change, Pyro Ball. Um, yep, Gunk Shot, High Jump Kick, Iron Head. It does get U-turn, Zen Headbutt. If you want to run a banded U-turn, you can do that. If you want to run um Sucker Punch, you can do that. Scorching. Wait, this thing gets. Huh.
It gets huh. Well, that's news to me. I mean, it's not like it's gonna do a huge amount coming off of that special stat, but
Absolutely.
still.
Yeah. I think one thing I'm going to say about that is I wonder if it's because like this mon seems to be like a mix between a volleyball mon and
Oh,
a soccer player.
Oh no, that actually makes a lot of sense.
So kicking the sand is kind of,
No, that actually makes a lot of sense. Credit to them for that.
huh. I don't know. That might just be like a five head type of thing that I was thinking of. It gets
No, no, no. I think you're actually right.
a it gets bounce, it gets electro ball. Seeing how its speed stat is actually really really good. Um, I mean, of course, like actually, it doesn't get a grass type move, does it? No, it does not. Um, but electro ball for water types. It's a really good mod. It really is, and with libero, it definitely adds the um it kind of adds a little bit of a Greninja protein type effect, except the difference is protein Greninja it gets a lot more things. So it's kind of more unpredictable than Cinderace is. And
To put it bluntly, Cinderace gets some fun stuff. Protein Greninja can randomly set up spikes for no reason.
oh yeah, that I've seen that set. And of course Gmax Cinderace is banned
Yeah, we cannot allow
for
that thing for obvious reasons. We can't allow that thing to be running around.
yeah, that is that is very true. But of course, again, this is just a standard team. Depending on how Jam runs this could be a mid pack to a low pack team. Seeing how Komodo, Gliscor, Reuniclus is actually a pretty common team and a pretty common way to kind of run around that. Of course, Komodo is a nice thing to protect Primarina from possible energy balls, protecting I want to say I think bullet because bulletproof, soundproof, it can protect its fellow teammates with some moves. I just think that this seems like a very underwhelming team. And I don't know if it's more because of a viewpoint of seeing those three together, but I just feel like this team has
It
potential, but it just depends on the rest of the team.
it depends on the rest of the team, but I also do want to mention that without fail, every single time I have seen it drafted, Primarina was horribly underestimated and proceeded to punch a hole through everything. So
Yeah.
I'd honestly say that's probably one of the stronger Pokemon on the team, not including Cinderace.
Oh yes, I agree. I agree. And especially with flip turn, being
Uh,
a good way to
honestly,
pivot.
oh shoot! I just realized it means they actually Cinderace and Primarina actually have the ability to pivot into one another. That's actually a little scary.
That is very scary. Oh my.
Yeah,
Um,
this is one of those. This is one of those teams that looks super standard at first glance and slowly starts to reveal its actual power the longer you look at it.
yes. Um, and of course, going into it with the 40 points remaining, I'm hoping it can get some more mons that can help Cinderace and Primarina, because I think if those two are not brought, it pretty much might go downhill.
At the very least, it's got a good hazard game so far.
Oh yes, that is absolutely true. Any team without hazard removals kind of gets screwed by
Gliscord's Skarmory is ridiculous, actually, the more I think about it.
yeah. Of course, and then next up we have the
The Charcoal Charizards.
yeah, that is really weird to say. Charcoal Charizards. Ah, that's really a mouthful. Um, who's basically just running the legendary team. The the legend and mythical team, except hi
Except Garchomp snuck
except
in there.
hi Mega Garchomp. How you doing? Melmetal, Necrozma, Tapu Fini, Mega Garchomp, Articuno, and Shaman. Yes, I'm going to say this now. Gmax Melmetal has not been announced. This is not a hacked league, so Gmax Melmetal is banned.
Well, to be fair, Gmax Melmetal was actually allowed last season and was promptly banned as quickly as possible following. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
Um,
I have nightmares. I have
but of
nightmares.
course, I kind of instead of talking about one mon, I kind of want to talk about the synergy here. I know I kind of went into a little bit with Jam's really weird team name. But Tapu Fini and Mecha Garchomp is actually a pretty good combo. Especially if you mix in the Melmetal. I
Yeah,
think
basically, his team is I want to burn everything on it, the team, except it can't be
except
burned.
it cannot be burned. And then as well as toxic, because like Necrozma getting toxic.
You can't really toxic a
Well, yeah,
shaman,
you can't
but you
talk.
can toxic Articuno and you can toxic Necrozma.
Yeah, and you just can't toxic that Shaman. Actually, I kind of wanted Shaman. Like, I really love Shaman. Shaman's a really good mon.
Shaman Sky is my actual all-time favorite Pokemon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Um, and of course, with this team, I mean, legitimately, I'm kind of scared because I don't know if it's gonna draft Regice next, or Registeel next, or Regirock next. Hell, it could
Let me
draft
put it let me
Regigigas.
put it this way. I'm looking at this team, and the one thing that I'm noticing, and the one biggest issue that it has, is what the hell are these speed tiers?
Yeah.
I love this team. It is going to be absolutely terrifying, but you either need to dedicate yourself to Trick Room or you need to fix those speed tiers because you will get outsped by everything.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And I think Shaman gets Trick Room, and so does Feeny, but that's it.
I don't think Shaman does. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as we're both looking it up.
Uh,
Shaman and Trick. Nope, it doesn't.
where-
Okay, my bad, my bad. I thought it got Trick Room
Does
this gen.
Feeny even get Trick Room?
Does
I
Feeny?
don't know if it does not.
I, s-
Yeah, he has no Trick Room options currently.
I swore I thought I've ran Trick Room, Feeny, and doubles.
No,
I might be tripping.
it might be Lele. It would kind of make.
It,
Wait,
m-
no,
it, mi-
no, none of the Tapus actually get it. That's
yeah,
weird.
Necrozma.
You would think they would. Does Necro? Oh, yes, Necrozma actually does get it. Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah.
you can run Trick Room,
So
and
what?
that's actually not a bad setup either.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel like with the rest of the points, he could definitely look. I'm just gonna be blunt here. Please stop going after the legendaries. Like, oy vey, my man.
I don't think it's intentional. I
I,
really don't think it's
I,
intentional.
I, I don't think it's intentional too, but come on. 5 out of your 6 mons are either legendaries or mythicals. Oy vey. But I think this is a good team overall. I do think if the speed tiers are fixed, it can be a good team. I think the
Mhm.
speed tiers are going to be the problem though.
If and with 51 points remaining though, fixing speed tiers isn't going to be that hard.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Holy, does he have 51 points remaining?
It's the Articuno, man.
It's the Articuno, man.
Uh, so next up we have the Bristol Bisharps. And well, this is definitely a scary team.
This is a very scary team, but it's also one of the, like at least from my personal viewpoint, it's the team that I can't figure out the most. Like for some reason, I can see you've got your water, fire, grass core. I can see you've got the start of a steel dragon fairy core, but none of it. It all feels wrong in ways I can't explain.
Yeah. I mean, there are some teams that are kind of worse.
No, like I actually, I'm starting to
But
see
this
the
one's
synergy.
definitely
Like
this one
like
definitely hits it.
basically Rillaboom being able to set terrain alone allows it to just prevent earthquake spam, which the rest of the team hates.
Yes.
But at the same time, it just
Well,
something
Latias
feels
Mega.
off.
Mega Latias.
True. But something just feels off and I can't place it.
Yeah, I mean, Rillaboom is nice. I think being able to damage mons even with the Sap Sipper ability on them, so like things like Gudra, Go-Goat, Azu, especially Azu, is really huge. But other than that, it's not really a big like help. Of course, grassy terrain does weaken things like Earthquake, but other than that, I don't see a really good synergy with this. I think the Ditto, I mean, it helps for like a late game sweep, but other than that, this team is really weird. And with how many points are remaining, I just like I feel like, and if you guys do like sports, um, hopefully you'll get this, but it's the Cleveland Browns of this league. Like no pieces are just fit together. So I could see this easily being one of the worst teams, but hopefully I am proven wrong. Hopefully.
I really hope I'm proven wrong because this looks like one of those teams that has a bunch of hidden synergy that makes absolutely no sense to anybody but the guy who drafted it.
Exactly, yes. But of
I,
course, you know.
serious though, serious respect for Heatran though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He trains a good mon. I will give my own respect for drafting Gastrodon.
Same.
Yeah.
I've watched Gastrodon go off before.
Yeah, I've seen a Gastrodon and a Melodic go off.
Offensive Milotic is a god set. You
Oh,
cannot tell
dude,
me otherwise.
check out my replays, man. Oh, Melodic's amazing. Next up we have the
The Freyslian Furrets.
thank you,
It is a very hard to pronounce name, and it's actually missing an accent over the A.
Freyslian Furrets. That one's something I'm gonna have to write down. At least it's not like some like really Middle Eastern team that starts with like an M. I think it's like Muatuabian or something like that. It's really hard to pronounce. Like no, I could
Regardless, um, can I take over for this one because
go right ahead.
this team did something that I have done in a previous season, and I need to point it out immediately.
Go right
This
ahead.
team drafted both Mew and Silvally. This team has decided to do what I did last season. This team has decided to basically become unpreppable. It forces teams to bring whatever happens to just be generally the best and hope like hell it works.
That is
And it
true.
is, I will say right now, it is both one of the most fun and one of the most taxing things I've ever had to deal with. I promised myself I would never draft it again, and I love it. I also want to point out that they got both Gmax Venusaur and Zardax. And I need to point out one more thing. Well, actually, two more. Really, every single Pokemon on this team has something that needs to
He
be
better
pointed out,
grab
actually.
Blastoise.
Crocodile gets Pursuit back, so it's just better. It can do what it does best again.
It gets Lash Out.
And let me explain Comfey to
Yeah, yeah.
anybody who isn't part of this league already.
Yes, let's do it.
Triple, the person who runs this team, and Comfey are effectively a nuke. Like, in anybody else's hands, it's Comfey. What the hell is it going to do? I don't know what it is about Triple that unlocks the hidden godlike abilities of Comfey, but it can and will obliterate at least one team during the season. Expect it. Expect possibly a 6-0 from it. I don't know. I just. There's a reason it was around 2, is basically what I'm
It's
trying to
basically
say.
yes, and legitimately, if Comfey didn't go to triple,
It would have actually been drafted by somebody else round 2 just to prevent him from getting it.
exactly.
He drafted it for a reason.
And of course,
Which I think makes everything else so much scarier because the rest of the team is perfect anyway.
I would be shocked if this thing wasn't an MVP candidate just because of triple.
It's going to go off.
Oh,
And 46 points remaining is nothing to laugh at. It might not be the highest amount, but
it's
it's
better.
a threat. There's
It's
enough.
it's definitely better than 38.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. Oh, right. Double 20s.
Double 20s. You stupid
But no, no,
idiot.
really. Triple, jokes aside, Triple, depending on what he does with his last couple of drafts, if he can pull together a good steal and a good water, he easily has one of the best teams here just for unpredictability.
Fun fact, if he grabs Blastoise, I am going to absolutely shred this man for grabbing the Kanto starters.
Why would you shred him? That's just a power move.
He's got Gmax Venusaur, Megazord X, and then just
And just
regular
regular.
Blastoise.
Jokes aside, regular Blastoise is actually really good because it can still run that white herb.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
I personally prefer it over like Gmax or Mega Blastoise.
I do too, but I'll be honest to it doesn't really matter that I'm saying this, but I'm not even planning on drafting a G-Max at all.
Same. I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's not that they're bad, it's just I'm not willing to put in the extra effort that it requires to maintain them with no item.
Yeah, true that. Okay,
Regardless.
regardless.
Time to move on to the team that I currently think is the scariest.
Yeah, the Green Path Glades. Um,
How the hell did anybody allow this to happen?
Urshifu Single Strike, Dragapult, Rillaboom, Slowbro, Diancie Mega, and Electros.
Fuck your speed tiers, fuck your type resistances, fuck your substitutes. This will hit everything. It
This
doesn't matter. I'm sorry for cursing, but you are dead.
screw the protects. Like this thing is. You want to set up rocks? Mega Diancie.
What
You
answers this?
you want to get chip damage on Slowbro? Nope, not gonna happen.
Plus, Slowbro has a slow teleport, which is worth mentioning
That is
because,
true.
well, it doesn't matter if it's slow. Just it has
It
teleport.
has
It's
teleport.
going to let some. It's going to let something in.
Yeah. Um.
Oh, I don't even know where to begin. If this team,
This team
to
does.
be fair, this team does only have 42 points remaining. That's still a lot, but it's still only 42. But based on the fact that Electros works so well, and that's a low tier I
Electros is a good
don't
mon.
I don't know if this team's going to have any answers by the time it's done. I
It,
legitimately don't think it is.
it is.
I legitimately don't think there's going to be a single option to kill this thing.
Yes. It is a very
I
scary mon. I think the
If this like it could come this is going to come down to the player, and honestly,
yeah,
I think they're going to do well.
I think so too.
I have a feeling this is going to be a top 3 if not top 2 team of the season.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I think it really depends on the player.
The fun part about it is this isn't like the other drafts. This isn't like the other drafts where the end of it will determine whether or not it works out in the end.
No,
It doesn't
this.
matter. You could draft all 1 point Pokemon from this point forward, and this thing already beats most of the other stuff here.
Yeah, this team is a very. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Who allowed this? Actually, I'm sorry. That one might be my fault. I did actually think about taking Mega Diancie like round 3 and didn't do it.
Really, my bigger issue is who allowed Urshifu into Dragapult.
Yeah, that is true. Oh
You literally
no.
Urshifu just kills Protect, and Dragapult just kills Substitute.
Oh my god, this team is actually really scary.
Uh, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. The
I'm not.
only way you can deal with this is to get momentum on it somehow and outplay it. Because that's the one. Even then, it's got Dragapult Electros. It's got momentum.
Yeah.
I,
I'm just thinking
ugh,
like
I, I'm having a stroke trying to figure out even a remote option. And it's got hazards. It's got I mean, honestly, I would say the one thing that I would recommend for it, and I hate recommending anything just because I'm scared,
is a
but the one thing I'd recommend is an
spinner?
actual dedicated defogger.
Yeah. A defogger or a
Because
spinner.
Deontay, as good as it is only going to do so much
Mm.
because it can't always be in. It will eventually be chipped out. And nothing else here, even if it does resist, nothing else here really wants to be hazard stacked.
Oh,
I'm
thank god.
especially looking at Urshifu and Dragapult.
I got so scared for a second.
What's going on?
I thought Mega Diancie got rapid spin.
Oh god, no, fuck no.
God,
It would It would have been banned.
It would have
It would
been
have actually been
banned.
banned.
Oh, thank God. Whew.
No, but jokes aside, I can't sugarcoat this team. There is no winning. There is just getting a lucky crit or a freeze or something and managing to make it through because of that. You
Yeah,
do not win by anything other than RNG.
basically, this team is very scary. And if it's not a top two team, then
No,
where does the blame go? You know?
this is the blame is all on the player if this doesn't end up top 2, top 1 even.
True. I mean, unless of course hacks happens, then that's a whole
Yeah.
different story. But
Well, on well, I say we should move on before we die inside trying to process this team
oh,
because
absolutely.
we will.
Okay,
On to
this one's
one
gonna
of
be fun. Nope,
oh
hold on.
this
Nope,
team.
this one's mine. This one's
I'll
mine.
leave it this one to you.
Okay, the okay. First off, what is this name? Cairn. Is that supposed to be California, but just really really bad spelling?
Um,
Cairnif
Caernarfon, Caernarfon, Caernarfon Conquerors. Cain.
Cairnarfarn Conkelders.
I can't pronounce it. I hate it.
Exactly. Um. Okay, so real quick, a little backstory. This man wanted to flame me for my first round draft pick, and has the audacity of drafting Scores round 3, not Gmax, just regular Scores round 3. That was your first mistake. Your second mistake is drafting Ash Ninja. That that thing is just absolutely monstrous, and the only reason it is 20 is because of its move pool. And its speed stat. That's all.
It should be mentioned that it probably would be banned if hidden power wasn't at this point.
That is true. That is also true. So you are
It doesn't get hit. It doesn't get hidden power.
yeah. So you are lucky to have that mod. Third off, you are pairing Metagross with both Thundurus Incarnate and Landorus Therian. Jesus Christ, that is the weirdest pairing in the world. And along with that, someone allowed him to get Landorus Therian at round 6. I don't know how anyone in this league allows this weird bunch of misfits to be on the same team.
That being said, that's what makes minors so fun. Where else is this going to
I mean, yeah,
happen?
that is true. But seriously, I'm not gonna live down him draft. I mean, this in the next team, but
Oh god, the next team. I can give a little bit of backstory to the next team at the very least.
yes. Which will calm down the flames a little bit. But Scorch round 3, not even Gmax. You are a weird man, and I hope these next 41 points is helped to improve this last place team.
Wait, what are y'all looking at?
We are doing a draft. We are doing a current draft review of minors as of round 6.
Yee. Wait,
Wait, y'all are already on round 6?
who just joined? Who
Yeah,
just
it's
joined?
Adam.
It's
Yeah.
Adam. Mm.
Adam is one of the majors players for anybody who doesn't know.
Oh yeah, Adam. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Hi.
So with special guest Adam as well. Even though,
Oh wait, you're recording
No.
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
I told you I was going to be the analyst this season.
Well, I'd like to introduce to you guys the wonder that is Team Fug.
this, this, this team.
Now,
This team.
as much as I want to bash it, I will be honest, I love this team. I love this team for being a monstrous nightmare of misfits, but I still love this team
It's a better team than the
so
last
much.
team. That's true. Okay, so
Just everything about what happened. So, this is another new player to draft, and unlike the wonder that is Team Ivory, they kind of went a little wild.
Ye-
Weavile round 1 does make sense. Mimikyu round 2 is weird, but respectable.
It is respectable.
Toxtricity G-Max round 3 is actually I'm a little surprised they got away with that.
Yeah,
And
it's a
then,
really good G-Max.
and then came
Shuckle.
Shuckle.
Shuckle
Now,
round 4 is
on its own, it's fine. I
How do you-
understand, but it was actually the response of the miners to Shuckle going round
yeah.
4 that makes
How
it
do
one
you
of the most.
how do you get to the teams page? Because I want to see this. This sounds
You're
great.
gonna you want to go up to the website tab, and you're
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
there.
click on the miners coach website.
Yeah,
Yes.
The guest website. I mean.
Yes. So, um,
I don't see. But I don't see like
Oh,
teams.
on the side you should see a live
team.
draft thing
There we go.
or team
so
or yeah.
so as
N-
if you
I
don't know, Shuckle is a very
passive Pokemon.
passive.
Unless you're like me and manage to pull off Power Swap, it has happened and it can kill you.
Oh yeah.
Yellow sleeping on Shuckle.
But of course, this team does have pretty good synergy so far, except for
Which is a complete nightmare. Like
it really is. It's like
it,
the
it
Sandlot.
doesn't make any sense. It's like the exact opposite of the Bristol Bisharps. It's a team that looks like it should have no synergy and somehow has all of it.
All of it, absolutely. I mean, except for the Tentacruel, obviously. But
Well, no, the Tentacruel is actually really important as a spinner.
oh yeah, as a spinner, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
this
think
team
it
still
also patch the slight speed issue. I mean, Weavile is their only real fast thing, so Tentacruel could be run
true.
fast. And needs
Just
to catch.
everything,
and
everything
and
about this
and
team is a confused
and
nightmare. And knowing the
and
person behind the scenes, they have no idea what they're doing either. And the fact that it's turning out this well is some miracle beyond comprehension.
and
And I
should I
love
add
it.
here? Should I add here that this team still has 50 points remaining out of a 140 draft.
Okay, I need to calm down.
So this is going to be a dark horse team. Do not sleep on this team. If you do, catch a bullet to the head.
But at the same time, you don't know what's coming out of this. Like, I don't know what to expect. It's so good.
I don't
This
think anyone
watching
does.
watching this team is like watching a train derail and land on the other tracks.
Basically.
I will say, looking at the website, which by the way, this is so cool having like all this
It's
information.
so
at the
cool.
Oh
page.
yeah,
It's
very.
Cleric options, hazard control. So they have T-Spike on Tentacruel and a really consistent rocker and Shuckle, and then
and
Weavile,
Buds and Chuckle.
Toxtricity, and Aegislash, which all do a shit ton of damage and punish any opportunities they try to like get rid of hazards or anything. If you
And
convert
Mimikyu can just come in whenever. Mimikyu's disguise, even with its nerf, is still scary.
Very
yeah, it's so
scary.
good.
But no, like I said, this team is a train wreck landing on the next set of tracks.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
It is. This is my. It might not be the best team by any means, but this is my favorite team.
This team
This
is
is
great.
hands
This is
down my favorite
great
team,
team.
down to the name.
And there's 50 points left.
Shout out, by the way, to their team logo. I'm not sure if you can see it, if you can see it on the thing.
No, I can't. But
But their team logo is
It's
if
something.
anybody knows the Rayquaza movie and how it gets overrun by cubes, yeah, it's that scene, but all the cubes are replaced by Fug.
Oy oy vey, moving on. We have my team, and of course, I'm going to be doing a team recap as soon as the draft is done. However, I'm going to mention just one thing, and that's, well, if you don't see it, it's there. Rachi Suicune. This is my first time using Suicune.
Ew.
It sounds disgusting, but it's going to be used for meme potential, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jirachi gets
good.
Metronome. You all should be
Oh
afraid.
no. Oh
You
no.
all should be afraid.
These metronomes are coming, and I am here for it, man.
Oh man,
Oh,
metronome plus
no.
serene grace. Oh, you all are goners.
I'm laughing
Oh,
like a dumbass.
dude,
Okay,
if I
can't do
Scared.
honestly,
them.
dude, if I met okay, honestly, bold prediction. I metronome the Mega Diancie. I get
Wait.
simple
You
beam.
could have.
It magic bounces a simple beam. Next turn, metronome. And I get calm mind. Okay. So okay, we calm mind in.
Iron
Plus two
defense.
special attack. Yeah, in the next turn, iron defense. What is this thing doing to me? And
No, but that's not
next thing you know,
happening.
just just oh, dude, flash cannon. Okay, just flash cannon everyone. I don't know if you can put meteor beam into a metronome, but next thing you know, meteor beam. It's time, boys. It is time.
You say that right, but you also want to talk about the fact that you have also a Mega Alton here, and I know you want to pick up another Wish Passer or something, and you're just building glorified stall.
No,
Actually,
the thing is, actually, Miners has actively decided that as a group, we are not going to allow anybody to draft True Stall this season.
basically, and it,
What's the fun in playing then?
The fun in
get
playing is
out.
you actually get a
There's the
kill
door.
fit.
There's the door.
Look,
Get
I drafted
out.
Lele Zam round 1 and round 2, so.
Okay, no, never mind. I take that back. I have respect.
Of course, that is all I'm going to say about my team so far because there will be a draft analysis.
But I do want to mention one more time. Any team that looks like it's starting to lean towards stall, it has been actively decided by all the miners that nobody's going to be allowed to draft true stall, or you're going to get shunned. So
Exactly.
even if a team looks like it's stall, Pokemon are going to be used for reasons other than stall, even when they shouldn't be, and it's
Yes.
going to be wonderful.
Exactly.
I can't wait for week 1
And
where BK plays a 200 turn game because he keeps wish passing to his Mega Ult.
You know
dude,
what? I can't wait.
dude,
I can't
oh,
wait. I
wait a
can't
minute.
wait for Specs Suicune to sweep.
Oh
dude,
no.
dude, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Besides Lepaberry, is there anything that can give like oh dude, imagine a move where you could actually give
There's a reason it
PP
doesn't
to the
exist.
oh dude, that
Yo,
would be
wait, what? Let's see
dude
what gets recycle.
giving
Recycle.
oh my god, please give it. Oh dude, getting recycle on a metronome. Oh please.
Dude, yes, please.
Alakazam, Chansey, Clefable, Mew, Blissey. Oh, Jirachi can do recycle metronome.
Also,
Oh my
Chansey,
god, y'all are
Chansey
dead.
can do
Y'all are
recycle
dead.
metronome.
Y'all are
It's
dead.
over. We're screwed.
It's
It's
all
game.
over. Week 1.
It's all
It's
over.
all over.
Week 1, Metronome manages to kill not only that team, but proceeds to wipe through every other team in 1 week.
Dude, bet. Oh my god. Dude, I'm gonna
there is only Metronome.
oh, dude, imagine six turns, metronome, fissure, sheer cold. Oh, y'all are done. Y'all are done.
Yeah.
Oh, guillotine. Oh,
The daily battle is going to be a battle of legends.
oh my god. Exactly. I am so glad to be in the minors. And then finally, because we do need to get going to this
Yeah, this was a team that we made a mistake allowing. This team had the potential to draft Zam directly into Lele, didn't because they wanted Sand, and I took Lele just to prevent them from being able to get it, which turned out to be a mistake, seeing as what happened next.
yeah, this team turned into one of probably the most ultimate sand teams. If you guys do not know, Dracovish has a hidden ability that we are allowing, thanks a lot, mods, of
Well, actually,
Sand Rush.
Jokes aside, it's still not going to run Sand Rush very much. Strongjaw Scarf is still better in Sand in most cases.
That is true.
Well, if he wants to run Bandit, he's probably doing more than Strongjaw, and then Okoing your entire
True.
team.
Yeah, true.
Then all
Possibly
of them
Okoing
too.
your
Like
entire team.
Dracovic, honestly, Dracovic isn't the issue when it comes to Sand. It's what came next.
Yeah.
Landorus Incarnate, yeah.
We do not allow Sheer Force. We banned it after last season. We do still allow Sand Force. We might ban it after this season.
I've used this kind of thing before. It's strong, but it kind of loses to flying types.
It
Especially since
also
you got
does
his power.
it does also lose to any fast ice types
Yeah.
without Scarf.
Oh no. I'm
And now that I think about it, it
Like,
just loses to Serena.
It really does. That's what I was thinking. I was
Why
like,
does this
wait a minute.
entire team lose to Serena?
he has a whole Amoongus right there, but you know.
Triple
Serena
axle
gets
Serena.
triple axle now.
All right, that's doing 12 to your Amoongus, so
Triple
Bro.
axle does a shit ton, dude.
it's missing. It's fine.
Okay, that's fair. But
Yeah.
still,
I can't
I
I can't wait for Adam to get swept by a triple axle Serena now.
you better believe I'm bringing
Yeah.
triple axle law
And
punny.
you already know Aku's looking to pick up Indeedee.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
coming.
please. Indeedy's amazing. Dude, okay, I got to tell you this real quick.
Indeed's a sleeper pick, man.
before we end the podcast real quick. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've been in a league where I ran Alchemy and Indeedy and just double metronome.
What's up with you and Metronome?
Hey,
It's
metronome is
fun.
it's fun. And
We down
legitimately
here in minors actually can enjoy games.
legitimately
Oh, that's fair.
in dude,
I always
in
gotta worry about getting bottom. Y'all don't have to care.
ingrain plus like stat boosting moves. It was beautiful. But this team, I can tell you, even with the 40 remaining points, you could give me those 40 remaining points, and this team would still be absolutely amazing.
Now, of course, it's not Green Path Galade's amazing.
Oh,
Nothing is Green Path Galade's amazing.
that is
But
true.
I'd say it's on par with the other weather team, which is actually really interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That battle is going
that-
to be a battle for
Oh,
the ages.
Oh,
Oh,
I just looked at one team and I got scared just looking at WoW. Yeah, y'all are dumb.
Yeah. No, Green Path Galades is going to kill
he
everything.
said y'all are dumb.
This is a race for second.
It basically, yeah. And
That being said, Green Path Galades does have one glaring weakness now that I finally look back on it. If you have a way to get rid of Dragapult, it then immediately just falls to Ghost spam.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
Urshifu is
nothing
I-
more like sure some things are okay with it. Like Urshifu single strike is okay with Ghost spam, but inevitably something else is going to come out and kick you. And Urshifu just inevitably, if you can figure out a way to get rid of Dragapult before it can cause too much of an issue, the rest of the team falls apart.
yeah.
Dragapult's speed tier holds everything together. Dragapult's speed tier holds everything together.
100 and what is it, 143?
I believe
You throw a scarf on that thing, and even your scarf mons aren't outspeeding this thing.
basically.
Yeah, Dragapult is one of the mons that can actually like uh
Dragapult
outspeed
can
mons.
Dragapult can safely outspeed Mega Alakazam.
Yeah, but
I'll
it
just
can
leave it at
outspeed stuff
that.
like it can outspeed some sand rushers with Scarf, which is usually super hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it can outspeed fucking Kingdra in rain.
Yeah, it can outspeed whatever it wants.
Yeah. It's
To be
very
fair though, in
scary.
order to do so, it does unfortunately have to give up the power of Specs or Band.
Yeah.
Really, the only real issue with Dragapult is it inevitably is either going to have to pick up Orb or one of the lock moves, and
Not
all of them
really.
have their.
Not really.
Oh right, yeah, I can run weird roost sets, can't it?
Yeah.
Never mind. I take back everything I said. No, we really are fucked.
But of course, final note. I th- I really wait, did it just cut or no?
No,
You're
you're
good.
still
Okay,
here.
okay, good. So final note on that. New Zealand Pichus has the same problem as the Galades in this way. If this is not a top 3 team, it's something on the player not knowing how to deal with this team. And I think that I'm going to be a little nicer on this team and say top 5. If it's not
I
top
agree.
5, then we have a problem.
I I have to add on though, the person who's running the Green Path Gallades is a middle high tier player at
Yeah,
minimum.
Juan is pretty
It's
good.
Juan. Juan's pretty good.
Hmm.
And he got
Aku's
this.
pretty good too. I'd say he's a little worse than Juan.
Yeah, no, Juan's just the fact that like the only reason I say that these teams aren't completely out of control, how the hell did this get allowed, is you then proceed to look at the other teams and understand why they got away with this. Look at Team Ivory with Urshifu, Rapid Strike, and Pelipper. You look at my team with Lopunny and Zapdos and Lele. You look at Cosmic Chaos with Mega Mawile and Excadrill into Rotom.
Yeah,
And you
I mean,
start to understand why these things weren't taken before they got down.
Yeah.
with the decks expanding so much and there being now so many monster drafts, including G-Maxes in this league, it leads to where pretty much everyone's gonna get some crazy
And
broken stuff.
that honestly is my favorite part of this league. Not
Yeah.
all leagues allow that. A lot of leagues will ban things until it's more even again. No. I want to see chaos. I want to see every team struggling to figure out what the hell to do with every other team, because that's when you get your jank sets. That's when you get Metronome killing everything.
Dude, wait, hold on,
I like
hold
where
on,
Watering
hold on.
is
Now
from.
I'm kind of like I'm going insane with this. But before we end this, please tell me Altaria gets metronome.
I
No,
don't
I
think
don't
it
believe
does.
so.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to cry. I
I'm
am.
so sorry.
I'm.
Oh, just you know what? You're the only team here that can respectfully pick up Blissey, and you because we all know you're just going to use Metronome on it, and that's
Dude,
Yeah, I was about to
dude,
say.
I'll draft Chansey and just only run Lucky Punch Chansey and
Should I
metronome.
Lucky Punch Chansey?
I mean,
Lucky
dude, okay, okay.
Charge
If
Beam
you,
Hyper Beam. Hit him with
oh
it.
my god, charge me
Oh
hyper,
my god!
dude.
I can't. I'm gonna die. I'm going to lose my shit.
Oh,
This is
all
the
right.
end.
Before we lose our dear friend, we are going to say that is going to be all for what will probably be the prologue of the so far called Unown podcast. I will figure out a name. It will be
Honestly, the unknown podcast actually kind of works, seeing as unknown is literally unusable this season.
Wait. Oh shoot, yes.
oh my god.
Wait, so if you bring it, you gotta
we
bring like.
still legally allow you to draft it, but you're not allowed to use hidden power.
So if you bring it, you just get DQ.
No, if you bring it, you have to use
Struggle.
struggle.
You just
But
struggle.
how do you get struggle?
You honestly, I think there's some weird jank you can do to allow it to use struggle. I think it is actually possible to bring it in with no moves in a true custom battle.
Oh yeah, if you do that. But
oh my.
Technically, you can draft unknown, which is why the unknown podcast is very appropriate.
Oh my.
how
yeah, true that. All right, so yeah, we're just gonna call it the Unknown Podcast. Screw that. So, with that being said, this has been the prologue to the Unknown Podcast. Thank you, Snowy and Slightly Adam, for joining me. Even though Adam was a actual complete surprise.
Oh, I get an upgrade to slightly Adam.
Yeah, Slightly Adam.
It's usually not Adam, but I'm a
it's
little
Adam
annoyed today.
Plus.
Adam,
It's Adam
Ad,
Plus.
Adam Plus.
It's new game Adam.
Oh god. And of course, next time we'll be going over the full draft recap. We will be talking about mons that we are kind of shocked did not get drafted, and we will hopefully be looking at a week 1 matchup.
I do have to say right now, neither Scizor form has been drafted.
Yeah, and no hidden power. Ooh.
It's
To be fair, none of the teams here actually need it. I don't think there's a single team here that really needs what Scizor offers.
that is
You
true.
always need what Scissor offers. Scissor's never the wrong answer.
Yeah, that is
Okay, you
also
do
true.
have a point, but but at the same actually, Scizor is the wrong answer for my team exclusively because I've got Lele. I can't handle a Pokemon that relies on priority.
Scissor is never
Yeah,
the
that
wrong answer.
yeah. It is
So,
the big red button.
Yeah, this is a
uh,
this is a
so
podcast that's never
hold
gonna end at
on.
this point. Let's just
true.
keep going.
Yeah, let's just see you
uh
later, guys.
Okay, thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this, and if you want to see more podcast stuff, I did just finish a podcast series for the IPDL, which of course did close down its doors. And if you do want to see more of this, hit that subscribe button, like down below, comment down what you think the best team is so far, and until next time, thank you guys for watching. Peace out, Mikuins. Hey guys, BK Rules 9 here. Yes, I am not dead. I know I have not posted in like 3 months, but it is okay. I'm alive and well, even with this terrible 2020. But there is something to look forward to, as I am bringing you guys the first ever edition of this unnamed podcast that I'm probably going to name in the title. Anyways, so for those who do not know, I think I have actually uploaded a battle series for a league called NNDL, and this was back in the majors. I want to say about 2 seasons ago, where I kind of introduced this league and kind of was like, "Hey, I'm participating in it." But after 2 seasons, I just kind of lost recording. And now we're back, and we are back as not only an analyst, well, sort of analyst, but also a coach in the minor leagues. And this season's going to be awesome. So, some things that I do want to mention. As of right now, we're kind of on round 7. One person has drafted round 7. That's a basic thing. But we are also kind of doing I don't know the best way to explain this, but we are bringing back some moves. We are adding the Isle of Armor DLC moves, Flip Turn, Burning Jealousy, all of those that you could think of. The tiers are all just a lot of fun. But of course, I am never alone, or if I am, there's always some type of noise in the background. So joining me today, hopefully, is Snowy.
Hello there.
So, of course, Snowy has been doing a lot for this league, and I just want to say right now that I appreciate everything that you have done for this league so far.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Yes. So, with that being said, right now for this kind of pre-episode, prologue, episode 1 type thing, I wanted to break down the first 6 rounds and kind of give a little take on it. And I do want to mention that with some mons being high tier, the highest tier is 20 points, the lowest being 1. There's a lot of shakes in here, but we will be talking over most of these mons. So with that being said, let's go to the first round pick, which is the number 1 overall, drafted by the Black City Bisharps, who have a really good team so far, with Mega Blastoise, Volcarona, Kartana, Kyurem, Gardevoir, and Bolton. Of course, you see the Crobat, but that's round 7. So, yeah. Anyways, this is a really good team so far. Oh, sorry, forgot to say one more thing. There is a point system, which means there are points that you have to spend. It's like a shopping spree type of league in terms of draft. But anyways, like I was saying, it's a really good team so far, with a really good mod who has actually gotten a lot of things coming into Sword and Shield, which is Mega Blastoise. And of course, the biggest thing being Shell Smash. Of course, Shell Smash is one of those moves that can raise your attack by 2, raise your special attack by 2, as well as raise your speed by 2. However, with lowering defense and special defense by 1. And because of the item being Blastoise Knight, because that is the only way you can Mega Evolve, it is more of a it, I like to say it's a glass cannon, but it is a really good mon. Along with that, it's also got a couple of moves if you don't want to run a special or a Shell Smash type of team. It's got one of the newest moves of Flip Turn, and honestly, with that, it's more of a it could be used as a slow U-turn for water types, which is pretty good.
I
Uh,
do want to add on one really interesting thing, which is although incredibly situational, Blastoise does get Earthquake, and with a +2 attack, even uninvested, that's still going to kill weaker electric types.
that is actually a really good point. Um, and with that being said, I think this mon being a 20-point mon is actually really good. I think that, and we will get into this later, but Mega Blastoise is one of those mons that really, really got buffed in the Isle of Armor DLC.
There's a
Um,
reason it's 20 points now.
yes. Of course, with the rest of its mons, it looks really nice. The team is so far lacking a rock resist, however. The only thing being Kartana, and with 32 points remaining, I don't think that we are going to see this team kind of finish out strong. I think we might see some Mons kind of get the lackluster end of it. Like maybe.
I'm
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I'm also noticing one major issue, which is Volcarona is going to be forced to run heavy duty boots almost every single time because the only defogger so far is
Is
Crobat,
Crobat?
and they have no way to set rocks at all. They only have toxic spikes also off of Crobat.
Yes. Um. Oh, and Blastoise gets Rapid Spin.
Oh, okay, that actually does help quite a bit, but at the same time,
Who
Mega Blastoise doesn't want to spend a slot on Rapid Spin usually.
exactly?
It's still a viable option, though. I can actually expect that extra speed is nice if you're not running a Shell Smash set.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um. But of course, with given the 32 points, um, we could see some lower tier mons get drafted and possibly see a a top heavy team go into a possibly mid standard type of team. So with that being said, next up we have the Drizziles, or nope, sorry, the Drizzles. Um with the Megalodios Blaziken Blaze, which means that it can only have the Blaze ability. You have Alolan Raichu, Sirfetch'd, Corviknight Gmax, and Araquanid, and this gives me a perfect opportunity to discuss the Gmax rule. So, as you should know, unless you are very new, Pokemon can Gigantamax for 3 turns. So let me bring up Corviknight real quick. Here it is. So Corviknight can Gmax for 3 turns, and then it goes back to a regular Corviknight. However, because of the Gmax rule, you must hold a male, and this will allow it to not be knocked off and not be traded or tricked for a better item. And this kind of helps so that way everything is more balanced. And of course, Corviknight, Gmax Corviknight is really good actually. I believe it
Oh,
is set to to an 18 point.
I do want to add one small thing regarding the reasoning behind mail.
Yes, go right ahead.
It's not exclusively just so you can. It's not exclusively just to prevent trick shenanigans or knockoff related stuff. It's also because of Poltergeist. Poltergeist requiring an item to hit will always hit a Gmax Pokemon this season because they cannot lose their mail by any means possible, which means they're always going to have an item on them.
Yes, and
It's a small thing. It's a small thing, but it's very important because the Pokemon that do get it want to be able to hit stuff.
oh yes, absolutely. And some mons really do benefit from Poltergeist, and of course, that that will also probably be talked about either in this episode or in later episodes. So, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure the Corviknight's Gmax move gets rid of terrain.
Not just terrain. It's actually a full defog effect.
Oh, a full defog effect. Thank you.
It loses the ability to gain speed by its flying type move, which isn't always great. But at the same time, in draft, just because of how useful defog is, it's not actually a half bad ability. I also want to add on that the fact that they drafted Blaziken and Alolan Raichu and Surfetched rounds 2, 3, and 4, this team is just the ultimate power move.
Oh yes,
It,
absolutely.
it knows what it's doing. It knows what it was doing from the very start, and it is playing it out, and I love it.
Yes, it is. It is a really good team. One thing I am going to say is that it is lacking a an answer to flying types. Of course, I know that the Alolan Raichu is there, and of course Corviknight is also there. But if those two things are not brought, this team could lose to very fast flying types. And of course, um, with the Gigantamaxes as well, something I should mention is that some have been ranked due to just what they are what they're capable of doing, I guess is a better way to say it. Of course, like Gmax Finale on a Gmax Alchemy can do a lot less than a Gmax Blastoise doing with its Cannonade. But with that being said, this team is actually really strong, and with the 61 points remaining, I think that it could keep that standard strength and build it up more. I think this is going to definitely be one of the top teams in the league.
I also want to add on that just webs on Araquanid are going to be really interesting because they do not have great speed tiers right now, and webs definitely fixes that.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think there's a if I'm correct. By the way, guys, draftleague.nl this is not a sponsor. I wish it was, but is a really good website for getting a league together and having it really organized. I think this is the first season that we are actually using it, and so far it is actually really amazing. Of course, with the draft in progress right now, you can see it's got the just in case you're away, basically making a being being able to pick for you along with having a backup and a second round or yes, a second pick just in case your first gets drafted and then your first backup gets drafted.
It's also worth mentioning that Otto, the owner of the website, is just Automathic is absolutely wonderful to work with. Just been absolutely the most help possible.
A-
From one of the moderators' standpoints, just he's been so on top of it.
Absolutely. And I don't think any of this would be possible without him, personally. So thank you so much to Otto for letting us kind of be in this website, so to say. But with all pleasures aside, next up we have Team Ivory, which Jesus Christ. Of course we
This this team, this team.
this team.
I will be honest, I was helping a bit with them at first because they are brand new to draft. The player is brand new to draft, but they got a hold of the basics so fast and well, you can see the result. I'm scared. I'm really scared.
I
I
think
don't
we
know
all
I
are.
don't know if competitive experience matters here.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
yeah, because I mean, we all know how fearful rain teams are, and this with the allow with the I won't say alloweration, but um with just like the
I'm not sure if you can hear me, but just a heads up, your audio's been out for a while.
Damn.
There we go.
So
I'm not sure if you've actually. I'm not sure if the recording caught it.
I really hope it did. Anyways, so we're just gonna keep going just in case. But what's up?
Can you splice a recording?
No. I don't know if I can.
Well, I'll be honest. I'd assume if you just take two separate recordings and then put them in an editing software, which there's some good free editing softwares online,
Oh yeah,
you could
okay.
just
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
think I know what
I'm
you mean.
literally saying pause it now, check to see if your audio cuts out during the thing, and if it does, literally cut it off before it does and redo that part, which unfortunately might be a team or two.
Mm.
You cut off just as we were starting to deal with the rain team.
Okay.
I tried to DM you, but you must have not gotten it.
I think my phone's gone. All right, let me check this real